What if the greatest secret to clarity, to peace, to true transformation, wasn't in action, but in stillness? From the moment we wake up, we are taught to move, to chase, to achieve. Our world rewards the restless, glorifies the busy, and celebrates those who are always in motion. We measure success by productivity, by how much we do, how fast, how efficiently, how relentlessly. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why? Somewhere along the way, we have been led to believe that stillness is stagnation, that slowing down is falling behind. But what if the opposite were true? What if the greatest breakthroughs, the deepest clarity, and the most profound transformations don't happen in the noise, but in the silence? For centuries, sages, philosophers, and enlightened beings have spoken of the power of stillness. The ability to sit in silence, to be fully present, to listen, not just to the world around you, but to the universe within. And yet, in today's fast-paced world, we have forgotten this wisdom. We resist stillness because it feels unproductive. We fear it because it forces us to face ourselves. But what if stillness is not the absence of progress, but the birthplace of it? In the next few minutes, we will explore the forgotten science of stillness, the power hidden in silence, the transformation that begins when we finally stop running, and simply be. Every day, from the moment we wake up, we are pulled into motion. Emails, deadlines, endless to-do lists. Our phones vibrate with notifications, demanding our attention. We move from task to task, conversation to conversation, believing that the faster we go, the more we achieve. We are taught to equate movement with progress, that to do more is to be more. That if we just stay busy enough, long enough, we will eventually arrive, at success, at fulfillment, at peace. But have you ever stopped to ask, where exactly are we rushing to? Modern neuroscience is beginning to reveal what ancient wisdom has long known, that our addiction to constant activity comes at a cost. Research shows that the human brain is not designed for endless multitasking. The more we divide our attention, the more our cognitive abilities suffer. Our focus fractures. Our memory weakens. Our ability to think deeply fades. A study from the University of California found that constant interruptions, like those from emails or social media, don't just distract us momentarily. They create a cognitive residue, lingering mental clutter that can take over 20 minutes to clear after each interruption. And yet, we live in a world that never stops interrupting us. We have mistaken busyness for productivity, and stimulation for fulfillment. But here lies the great paradox: the more we chase, the more we lose. The more we stop, the more we gain. This is the illusion of busyness, a cycle that keeps us moving, but never arriving. Because true clarity, true insight, true progress, is not found in movement, but in stillness. What if everything we seek is not ahead of us, but within us? And what if the only way to reach it, is to be still enough to listen? In a world that never stops moving, the idea of stillness may seem unnatural. But science is beginning to reveal something remarkable: stillness is not just a spiritual practice. It is a biological necessity. When you are constantly in motion, rushing, stressing, reacting, your nervous system remains on high alert. This is the sympathetic nervous system at work, flooding your body with cortisol and adrenaline, priming you for fight or flight. It is useful in moments of danger, but in the modern world, this stress response never truly turns off. But when you embrace stillness, something profound happens. The parasympathetic nervous system takes over, activating what scientists call the rest and digest state. Your heart rate slows. Your muscles relax. Cortisol levels drop. The brain shifts from survival mode to a state of deep repair. Studies show that regular meditation and mindfulness practices don't just reduce stress, they physically reshape the brain. Neuroscientists at Harvard found that just 8 weeks of meditation increases gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation. But the effects go deeper. Monks who have spent years in meditation demonstrate something extraordinary, brainwave activity unlike anything seen in ordinary states of consciousness. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin studied the brain activity of advanced meditators and found an astonishing result: high levels of gamma wave activity, the fastest brainwave frequency associated with heightened awareness, deep compassion, and even states of higher consciousness. This is not speculation. This is science confirming what ancient traditions have known for thousands of years. When the mind is still, it does not become empty, it becomes more awake. And yet, in our world, we fear stillness. We resist silence. But what if stillness is not the absence of life, but the key to truly experiencing it? Beyond the noise of the world, beyond thought, beyond time itself, there is a presence. A space untouched by distraction, by fear, by the endless pull of the external. It is here, in stillness, that we begin to remember what we truly are. Science tells us that stillness rewires the brain, but ancient wisdom tells us that stillness does something even greater. It reconnects us to something beyond ourselves. Throughout history, the greatest minds, the most enlightened beings, all spoke of this power. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree in perfect stillness, and awakened to the nature of existence. Jesus retreated into the wilderness for 40 days, finding truth in solitude. Laozi, the ancient sage of Taoism, taught that the way of the universe is found not in force, but in flow. And Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, practiced deep reflection. When the mind is still, we no longer feel separate from life. The illusion of division dissolves, and we realize, we are life itself. In the modern world, we see ourselves as separate, from nature, from each other, from the universe. But what if that is only an illusion? What if we are not in the universe, but of it? This is the truth taught by the ancient mystics. The truth that modern science is only beginning to understand. That consciousness is not something we have, it is something we are. And stillness is the gateway back to it. In the silence, you begin to sense it. The mind stops grasping. The need to label, to define, to control, fades. And what remains is something vast. Something infinite. A deep knowing that you are not separate from the universe, you are the universe, temporarily experiencing itself in human form. This is the essence of non-duality, the realization that there is no self and other, no boundary between the observer and the observed. There is only one existence, one consciousness, expressing itself in infinite forms. And yet, in the noise of daily life, we forget. We identify with the small self, the ego, the personality, the story we tell ourselves. But when we allow ourselves to be still, truly still, we remember. The greatest discoveries are not found in books, nor in words, nor in the endless pursuit of knowledge. They are found in the silence between thoughts. In the space where the mind dissolves, and only presence remains. Be still, and know. We have been taught that progress requires struggle, that to achieve, we must push harder, move faster, do more. But what if the greatest breakthroughs, the deepest insights, the most profound moments of inspiration, don't come from effort, but from stillness? This is the wisdom of Wu Wei, the Taoist principle of effortless action. In the West, we believe that success is the result of force, of grinding, of constant effort. But the ancient sages of the East understood something different, that true mastery is not about control. It is about alignment. Laozi, the father of Taoism, described Wu Wei as the way of water. Water does not resist, it does not force. It flows effortlessly, adapting to the shape of its surroundings, yet wearing down even the hardest stone. It moves, by not trying to move. This is the paradox of doing nothing. The more we try to force creativity, the more it eludes us. The harder we chase inspiration, the further it drifts away. But when we become still, when we surrender to the natural rhythm of life, that is when the mind opens. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history did not come from effort, but from stillness. Albert Einstein once said that his most profound insights came not from thinking, but from daydreaming, allowing his mind to drift, free from distraction. Nikola Tesla, the genius inventor, would sit for hours in complete silence, visualizing entire machines in his mind before ever touching a tool. He understood that true innovation is not about force, but about allowing ideas to reveal themselves. And Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, regularly retreated into solitude, walking barefoot in orchards, sitting in deep meditation. He believed that the greatest ideas do not come from the mind that is full, but from the mind that is empty. This is the hidden power of doing nothing. In stillness, the mind is no longer cluttered by urgency. In silence, creativity does not have to be forced, it emerges. But in today's world, we have lost this wisdom. We fill every empty space with noise, every free moment with distraction. We check our phones, refresh our feeds, consume endless information, never allowing the mind to be still long enough to see clearly. But what if we did the opposite? What if, instead of filling every space, we allowed space to exist? What if we gave ourselves permission to do nothing? Because it is in the moments of stillness, in the pauses between thoughts, that genius awakens. In a world that moves faster every day, stillness may seem impossible. There is always something demanding our attention, another task, another message, another distraction pulling us away from the present moment. But stillness is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something you cultivate, from within. You do not need to escape to the mountains or abandon your responsibilities to experience stillness. It is already here, waiting beneath the noise. And with simple, intentional practices, you can bring stillness into your daily life, no matter how chaotic the world around you may seem. Breath awareness and deep breathing. The breath is the anchor of the present moment. It is always with you, yet so often ignored. But when you bring awareness to your breath, something changes. The mind slows. The body relaxes. And the restless thoughts begin to settle, like ripples fading on a still pond. Right now, take a deep breath in, hold, and exhale slowly. Feel the shift, the space between thoughts, the pause between moments. This is stillness. Micromeditations throughout the day. Many believe meditation requires hours of silence. But even a few seconds of stillness, woven into your day, can create profound change. Between meetings, before a conversation, as you wait in line, pause. Close your eyes. Breathe. Let the mind rest in the space between tasks. These micro-moments of stillness reset your nervous system, allowing clarity to rise where chaos once ruled. Practicing presence in daily activities. Stillness is not just found in meditation. It is found in the way you live. Every moment, no matter how ordinary, can be a doorway into presence. When you drink your morning tea, truly taste it. When you walk, feel each step. When you speak, listen, not just to words, but to the space between them. This is mindfulness. This is presence. Disconnecting from digital overstimulation. The modern world keeps us in a constant state of distraction. Every notification, every screen, every endless stream of information pulls us away from ourselves. To reclaim stillness, we must reclaim our attention. Try this, once a day, put your phone away. No screens. No scrolling. No distractions. Just be. At first, the mind may resist, it craves stimulation. But if you sit with the discomfort, something shifts. In the silence, you rediscover yourself. Embracing nature as a teacher of stillness. Nature does not rush, yet everything is accomplished. The trees do not force their growth. The rivers do not struggle to flow. Everything moves in perfect harmony, because everything knows how to be. Spend time in nature. Observe without distraction. Listen, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. Feel the wind on your skin, the rhythm of the waves, the silence of the stars. Nature does not seek stillness. It is stillness. And so are you. Stillness is not something you find. It is something you remember. And the more you practice, the more it becomes a part of you, until one day, you realize, it was never separate from you at all. Stillness is not emptiness. It is not the absence of life. It is full of presence, full of awareness, full of infinite potential. In the silence, the mind becomes clear. In the pause between thoughts, wisdom arises. In the space between moments, life reveals itself, not as something to chase, but as something to receive. We spend our lives searching, seeking clarity, purpose, transformation. But the greatest truths are not found in movement. They do not arrive through force. They appear when we become still enough to listen. So if you seek answers, stop searching. If you long for peace, stop grasping. If you wish to awaken, stop running. Be still, and allow it all to come to you.